Jamie and Stephen show. Let's talk movies, music and magic.
Hi Jamie.
Hi Stephen.
Hi.
We're back
Yes.
for another episode. The final package film. Oh my god.
Of the war.
Of the war, yes. The
Yes.
war. Oh, yeah.
There is another package film.
Is there?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yes, there is!
Yes. Does she know?
Oh yes! I want to mouth it. Can we say it?
Just say it.
Winnie
why
the
not?
Pooh.
It is.
Yes.
We have facts about it.
Oh,
as
okay. Yeah, okay, so the last wartime package film.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah, this has been a struggle.
Yeah, real struggle. And I was excited at first because they're not the ones that we tend to go to when we say, oh, let's put on a Disney film, you know? And I was like looking forward to properly sitting down and watching them, but...
Never mind. For me, it was the facts.
Yeah.
I loved finding the facts. If we didn't have to watch the films, I think I'd have enjoyed this a lot better. Yeah.
But luckily, this one was just 2 long shorts put
Yes.
together. So just like Fun and Fancy Free. So we
Yes.
didn't have to suffer
And I like this one.
little
So
2-minute ones that we didn't understand.
So for those of you who've not read the title, we're on The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad,
Yeah.
which, as Jamie says, is the final war package film.
Yes.
It consists of the two, which is Ichabod and Mr. Toad.
Yeah. Released in 1949.
Yes.
It's classed as the 11th classic. It's an hour and 8 minutes.
Which isn't bad for...
Yeah.
I mean, some of these package films have been long.
What was that? Was it?
Make My Music
Make My
was like
Music
an
was
hour,
an hour
and 15.
Yeah.
Yeah, almost as long as our podcasts.
Yeah. And it did not need to be that long.
No.
Right. IMDb synopsis.
Yes.
I wouldn't really say it's a synopsis.
Okay.
It literally just says what we've just said. It's an animated adaptation of Wind in the Willows, followed by an adaptation of The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. That's it.
It's not a synopsis, is it?
No.
It's like
It's just basically telling you the 2 stories that are featured,
Yeah.
and that's it.
my
So
synopsis.
what's your your synopsis will be better.
Now you've got to think about it.
Okay.
Okay. 2 arseholes pretend to be the good guys, but are annoyed by some other arseholes.
Yes!
Yeah.
That's definitely what they are.
Yeah, these are not good characters. These are not good
No,
guys.
they're not likeable.
No.
Which we'll come to later, which is probably
Yeah.
why I struggle to like this film.
I think I like it because it's a little bit dark.
Okay.
One half of it is a little bit
Yeah,
dark.
I mean it's not a fairy tale story.
No.
It's not about a prince and a princess
No,
or
and it... Yeah.
it's not the typical happy ending, you know.
No.
No.
So where did we want to start first?
Let's start with, it starts with Mr. Toad.
Let's
So
go in for the
we'll
Wind
go
in the
with
Willows.
that. Will we do the facts first?
Yeah, go on then.
Yeah.
I'll let you go first.
Oh,
Because
okay.
you've got like 20 pages.
I know. I had a lot of facts. Right, so Mr. Toad. Now, I just want to point out that when I sat down and watched this, I have watched it before a couple of years ago, but I didn't manage to get through it.
It's 25 minutes. How
I
did
know.
you know? Wow.
I don't know. I got distracted. I must have. Anyway, I properly sat down, and the thing with me is, I definitely had Mr. Toad on video.
Okay.
I don't know what video it was and what it was with, or how I had it on video, because I didn't have Ichabod.
No, well, they were first released together in 1991, but they were released multiple times separately
Right,
in the
okay.
80s. So it could be that you
Yeah.
had one of those videos.
And my memory of it was mixed with the
Rick
other-
Mail.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I prefer.
No,
I must
David Jason.
Oh, the...
Yeah.
No, you see, it was the Rick Mail one for me.
No, it was David Jason. If people don't know, Rick Mail is from Drop Dead Fred, which Americans should know.
For the UK, there's Bottom. He was in Blackadder. He starred in a few episodes of Blackadder. The Young Ones.
Yeah. And what's the recent one with the guy from...
It's not that recent.
No, he's not. It's the one that he did before he died.
Oh, I'm
What's
not
that called again?
sure.
Where he plays the dad.
Oh,
anyway, it doesn't matter. It's not important, but...
But that's who Rick Mayall is. You would know his voice.
Yeah.
As for David Jason, I suppose his most popular is Only Fools and Horses.
Yeah, which was a British programme.
Yeah, which...
Frost.
Yes, A Touch of Frost. You might know that more if you're in America.
Yeah.
Because when
Detective.
When me and Luke went Vegas, someone behind one of the tills said, "Oh my god, I absolutely love British comedies." And I said, "Oh, okay, what like?" And they were like, "Oh, Keeping Up Appearances," and they mentioned Fawlty Towers, and I was like, "Oh, what about Only Fools and Horses?" I don't know that one.
Oh, okay.
It's like, okay. It's like our main one.
Well, the other one that people might know him from is the BFG. Yeah, David Jason played the voice of BFG, the 80s cartoon.
Yes, and Danger Mouse.
And Danger Mouse as well.
Yes.
So yeah, sorry, we've gone off track.
We have. Let's keep this to an hour, Jane.
My point is, my memory of the two are very mixed. So there were, although when it started I sort of was like, oh yeah, I do remember this version, but before, if I ever thought of Mr. Toad or The Wind in the Willows, it would always be a bit like mixed with David Jason one, so yeah.
This Together was actually one of my first Disney DVDs.
What was it?
Yeah, I remember. It was in an offer. I can't remember the offer, but it was in an offer from.
Is it like 2 for 10?
Something like that in Tesco's.
15? Yeah, I think it was like 2 for 10 DVD.
Oh,
or
way before. I must have been about 15, 16.
Oh, okay, maybe not.
And I got this one, The Aristocats, and Robin Hood.
Oh.
And something else, but I can't remember what the other thing was. But yeah, they're the ones I got.
Yeah. No, it was one I never had on DVD. Was this one?
Well, I tried to collect all the classics. Yeah, you did. Yeah. So
the facts.
Yes.
Right. So the first one I've got is about motor mania.
Okay.
So Rat describes Toad's latest obsession, motor mania, which is the title of a Goofy short that was released the following year.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Which actually, just to link it in with the other film, one of the directors, bear with me, it was Jack Kinney. He, at the point of directing his part of this film, he had only done Goofy shorts.
Oh! And then he moved on to this one.
Yeah, although it was more with the Ichabod side.
Right, okay.
But yeah, it was from Goofy shorts.
Oh, so he's gone a bit...
So they're very linked. Everything from this period, very, very linked.
So the Toon Patrol, as they're called in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, was based off of the weasels that are in this.
Oh, yes, that makes sense.
And you know where else they're featured?
Oh, where else?
Mickey's Christmas Carol.
Do you know I didn't watch that this year?
Oh,
I haven't watched it for
they
a
are
few
digging
years.
the grave.
Oh, okay.
So when Scrooge is with the ghost of Christmas present, i.e. Pete, and they're in the graveyard, and the weasels have just dug up the hole ready for the coffin to go in the next day. So they're
Christmas.
there, and they're in Prince and the Pauper. They're Pete's henchmen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, they get around then.
They do!
They get around.
I mean, watching the film again properly, I mean, they're drawn differently. They've made them more weaselly, or as I know them as the weasels. They're not, especially in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, like the 3 films, it's the same characters basically, whereas there's not really much talking from them in this. They are just used to try and
They're not
catch them.
really the bad guys in
No.
this one, but whereas
In Roger Rabbit and Prince and
Yeah.
the Pauper, they are.
and I think in the original book as well, because I did read Wind in the Willows when I was at school.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I've read, and I'm sure the weasels are the main villains.
Okay.
So this
Yeah,
kind
well,
of
Mr. Winky
alters
was
it a little
created
bit,
for this,
yeah.
so we know he's not in the original Wind in the Willows.
No.
So, yeah. Do you have any facts?
Yeah, I've got a few. So before the film was made, it was written by Kenneth Graham in 1908. It was pitched to Disney, Walt Disney, in 1938, and he didn't like it. He said that it was too corny,
Oh.
that it wouldn't make a good full-length film,
Uh-huh.
but he bought the rights to it anyway.
Okay.
But at this point, we've got to remember that he was obtaining rights left, right, and centre to make films.
Yeah.
You know, like all of the 1950s films, he was getting the rights for
Yeah.
around this time. So yeah, the pitch included sketches and dialogue, and he just didn't like the anamorphic animals.
Oh.
He said that they were not really the way that Disney does animals. Which is weird because when you move literally a few years from this, literally 12 months near enough, because you've got
Alice in Wonderland.
well, the mice in
Yeah.
Cinderella.
Well, yeah, although she dresses them up, but for
Yeah.
me, definitely
Well, you got
Alice in
Alice in
'cause you've got the
Wonderland.
White Rabbit.
Yeah, and then even further from there, where they've got more of a personality rather than the cutesy animals. Mr. Toad actually sets the tone for the Jungle Book and the animals there,
Okay.
because they're more.
Human-like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have the
Because
personality.
Baloo stands on his feet, back 2 feet. He doesn't really crawl on all fours.
Yeah, and that's those.
It's weird that, because obviously people would associate the anamorphic animal to Disney.
Yeah.
And
Especially if you
wasn't gonna
look,
do it.
like you could name like 5-10 films off the top of your
Yeah.
head where you could just go, well, they're anamorphic. Like
Uh-huh. Yeah, like Robin Hood being the most famous.
yeah,
I would say.
Zootopia.
Yeah,
Now we've said it, we can't mention any.
Winnie the Pooh.
Oh yeah,
Really?
Winnie the Pooh,
Yeah.
Rescuers.
Yeah.
I suppose Princess and the Frog with
Yeah,
Lewis.
that way. Yeah.
Right, so yeah.
Yeah.
So it all kind of started here, really,
Okay.
with that kind of animals dressed as humans, animals acting like
Uh-huh.
humans. As I said, he said it was too corny, but production began. Now there was many rewrites, but it officially began in 1941 with some of the Bambi animators.
Yeah, I had that written as well.
Production didn't last. Most of my facts are like a timeline, so I'll just keep going. Just
Yeah.
butt in when you've got yours. 1942, the animation strike put the film on hold,
Uh-huh.
and also during this time, the Bank of America only funded shorts and wouldn't fund any new feature lengths until the previous films that they'd funded had recouped their costs.
Okay.
So it remained in production. It kind of went not on hold as such, but it was being worked on because they weren't doing feature films.
No.
Then in 1946, there was layoffs, and that's when the film was officially shelved.
Right, okay.
At that time, it was paired with Gremlins, which is a Roald Dahl film, which Roald Dahl was going to write, and it was going to be made into a Disney film.
Oh. So it's not Gremlins as in the way what we know Gremlins.
there
This is a
is-
different.
Yeah, this is completely different.
Oh.
And it was going to be paired with Happy Valley, which was renamed into Mickey and the Beanstalk.
Oh right, okay.
It was all then switched around, This was around 1946 that it was switched around with Sleepy Hollow.
Right, okay.
At the time that this was being planned and made on, other films that were in production, and one of the reasons why Walt may have had to have slowed down with the Bank of America and the issues, he had Cinderella, Peter Pan, Lady and the Tramp, Dumbo, Bambi, and Alice in Wonderland, and The Wind in the Willows, all in production.
Right, okay.
And this doesn't take into effect any of those other shorts that he was working on as well. So he had a lot. Out of them, it was Dumbo, Bambi and Wind in the Willows that he decided to carry on with.
Okay.
So they shelved Lady and the Tramp, shelved Alice in Wonderland, Cinderella and Peter Pan.
But it's good that that did happen, because it wouldn't have been the same film, because the animators weren't drawing the same way, and they didn't have the animators during that time either.
Which is one of the reasons it was shelved.
Yeah.
Again.
I did read that about the legend of one of the animators. Did you find that?
Oh, okay. No, carry on.
Yeah, apparently it's not been 100% proven, but there was an animator that left. He was originally put on the project for Mr. Toad, and he decided to sign up for the war. So he went away, fought in the war. When the war was over, he came back to Disney and he carried on animating the same scene because the film had been put on hold.
Yeah.
So by the time he came back, Disney had obviously decided to start it up again and put him back on the same
1946
scene
it was
that he had been working on. So, yeah. But it didn't mention the animator. Nobody knows 100% if it's true or if it was just a rumour, but I hope it was true.
Yeah,
that's a nice story.
Especially around this time when you hear, obviously, we have the bad World War II, we hear those stories, but also for Disney with the animator strikes.
I know.
I mean, at this point between this film and the next one, Cinderella, I think there was something like 4 million in debt.
Yeah.
Which doesn't sound a lot now, but at the time,
I wrote that down as well. Yeah.
So. Yeah, it was a rough time.
Yeah, so that's a nice story. Fingers crossed it is true. The other thing I was going to mention when you mentioned the author.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you find out what else he wrote?
I did. Yes.
Yeah, I can't believe this.
Go on.
The Reluctant Dragon.
Yeah.
And they made that first.
Yeah. So.
I mean, it is. I've not properly watched it.
I have years ago.
Okay.
Years and years ago.
Is it a short, or is it a short like this?
I think it's a short like this. It's definitely not like 5 minutes long. It's not that short. Yeah. It's just one of those things that I know I've watched.
Okay.
Because I had it on DVD and I've watched those DVDs.
I mean, I've got the tree ornament,
I've got it too.
I have heard of him, and I've seen.
On Disney Plus, he's there.
Is it on there?
Yeah, you can watch it on
maybe
Disney
I'll
Plus.
give it a go. But yeah.
They actually, with The Wind in the Willows, when they put it on the TV show Disneyland, they paired it up with The Reluctant Dragon as well, which was quite nice.
Yeah, because it's the same author.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's good. You any more?
So one of the Wind in the Willows was adapted to stage.
I read.
Did you?
Amy Milne.
Yeah,
I know. This is so weird.
Which is the author of Winnie the Pooh, and as we mentioned earlier on,
soon to be another package film.
This is the last package film until the Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah.
So
really strange. How it all connects.
Yeah.
But I mean, I knew he'd done something before Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, I think that's his lasting legacy.
Yeah, but I didn't realise he did plays as well.
Yeah.
I knew J.M. Barrie
was
a playwright who did Peter Pan, but I didn't realise that A.A. Milne also did, and the fact that he adapted Wind in the Willows, the two authors are obviously similar age or
Yeah,
similar
from the
era.
similar era. Yeah.
So yeah, it was like Disney was like right in there.
Yeah.
You know, and I like that. You know, it was British. You know. That
well, he taught. Well, not so much Walt. We mentioned Joe Grant.
Yeah.
A few films ago.
Yes.
And there were others. There were others as well. Around this time, there was also production on The Snow Queen, so Frozen, done by Mark Davis. They were travelling out to Europe, across America, trying to pick all of these different stories, and this was one of them.
I've got a few. The Rat. He's called Rat.
Yeah.
But he's not a rat.
He's a water rat.
Well, it's a European water vole.
Oh, is he?
It is, yes. And but I mean, not that I ever thought he looked like a rat, but I wonder why. Like,
I just knew him as water rats. Like, I think that's what he is in the original book, or maybe he's not. Maybe he's just called Ratty.
Yeah.
In the book, and
Rat and Mole.
Yeah.
And Angus, Angus Mick.
I think he's just called.
Is it just Mick Badger?
He's Mick Badger.
Mick Badger. Yeah. Angus Mick Badger.
I don't know why I'm doing the Scottish accent for the Badger.
Yeah, you do. I'll be up for it.
Yeah.
Speaking of those characters, before I forget, obviously I mentioned earlier about the weasels featuring in Mickey's Christmas Carol.
Mm-hmm.
And the weird thing is that there's other characters from Mr. Toad that feature in Mickey's Christmas Carol.
Yes, there are. Is it Mole and Rat?
Yeah, so they are collecting for the poor.
Yes. So they're Beaker and Dr. Bunsen.
Yes! And I was going to say Fozziwig, but it's Fezziwig.
Yeah.
And Mr. Toad plays Fezziwig.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Oh, it's been.
But it's silent, and he's sitting on top somewhere high, and he's playing the fiddle.
Ah.
So and yet the films were made 40 years apart.
Well, the thing with the they were repeated constantly.
Yeah.
All the way up until
But like it's
the
not
70s,
even.
So.
It's not even like where we've seen. Like people often say, oh, the cats dancing Aristocats is the same as the monkeys dancing, and that it's not like they've got the characters are doing completely different things to their films.
Yeah.
It's the fact that they thought of all the characters to take from past. It was this film that they chose.
I wonder if it's because of the British connection.
Maybe.
Because obviously Charles Dickens.
Yeah. Could be.
Christmas Carol.
But I couldn't find the reason why. I mean, if anyone knows, or if knows that if it's in a book somewhere, why the Mr. Toad characters were used as other.
Well, they would still be. I think they'd still be in the forefront of people's minds because of the repeats. Because of, I mean, it was the 80s when the VHS, but also Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
Yeah, could be. I mean, thinking about it, I'm wondering now if, because I had Mickey's Christmas Carol on video, and I'm wondering if my video then had Mr. Toad in that, and that was how I had Mr. Toad on video.
Maybe. I don't know.
Because that would make sense.
Yeah.
To have those two put together on a VHS with the characters being in both.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember, but if anyone knows,
send
us an email.
Yes.
Or a comment on Threads, or because
Instagram,
it's
Threads. Email.
Weird how our minds just can't, like, in regards to the videos, like cannot
remember
this. Yeah, I know I had it on video. I don't know how, and I don't know, like, if it was just that or was it with something else.
I think me and you should sit there and we'll get a load of all the videos that they've ever done and we'll just chat about them. I think that would make a really good episode. Maybe for next Christmas.
Yeah, maybe for next Christmas, because some of the videos that we had were really good, and like
yeah, I mean, it annoys me that the sing-along ones are not on Disney.
I know
that annoys me.
Yeah,
because they have the sing-along versions of the films.
Yeah,
but not the VHS ones, which are readily there.
I know.
Like
bizarre. Anyway, right, back to Mr. Toad.
Yes. Do you have any facts about the cast you mentioned?
Oh, about
Go for it.
No, I don't.
No.
I just know the voice. I just know who narrates it.
Go on then. Who narrates it?
Basil Rathbone.
Yes.
Bone, is that right? Yeah. Basil Rathbone, who we know from Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, you voiced Sherlock Holmes.
Does he do?
Go on.
The voice.
Spit it out.
In Basil.
Yes.
Yes, I thought it was. Yeah.
Yes, you're Sherlock Holmes in Basil.
Yeah.
It was taken of an audio that he did, and because I think he passed away at that point, but the audio is there because he was known as Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
And I think even now, his image, his white face, his image, it's Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, yeah. That's
we know
what
him as that.
Yeah.
We know it.
Obviously, there's been so many variations of Sherlock Holmes, but yeah, even though it wasn't my time,
no, way before,
still.
Yeah.
Know his face as Sherlock Holmes.
I have just a few bits. So Eric Blore was the voice of Toad. Mm-hmm. Although he went on to have a really good career, the most interesting fact that I can find about him was he died in 1977. However, just a very short while before he died, the New Yorker reported his death, but he was still alive.
Oh!
They then published an apology on the same day that his death was announced.
Oh my god!
So whilst the rest of America was going, Eric Blore passes away, the New Yorker was saying, sorry, we published this story about him passing away. He is not dead. But he was at that point.
Oh my god.
Bit of a morbid fact, but
we have those rumours on Twitter now, don't we?
Oh, yeah.
Where celebrities have to sort of say,
I'm not dead.
I'm not dead. I'm right here, tweeting.
The other one that I have is J. Pat O'Malley, who voiced Winky and the Horse. Mm-hmm. He voiced in The Jungle Book Colonel Hathi.
Yes.
And one of the vultures. He was Brer Fox in Song of the South. He was. Yeah. He was Tweedledee in Tweedledum. And he was all the voices in the Walrus and Carpenter section of Alice in Wonderland, which included Tweedledee and Tweedledum. Yeah. Because they're telling the story. I haven't watched Alice for years.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because the song is The Walrus and the Carpenter.
Yes. Yeah. And it's that.
Yeah, and they're singing the song.
Voice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I did think, I was like, I know that voice.
Yeah.
And I did instantly think of The Walrus and the Carpenter, but I couldn't picture Tweedledee, Tweedledum.
Yeah, no, all of it.
Yeah.
Whole section. Anything else on the
Yeah, so I've got in regards to the parks.
Yes.
Because, there's a lot of Disney fans out there that love all the parks. Yeah,
let's go for it.
So there's 2 park facts. The ride is in Disneyland and was there for the opening. Yeah. So and it's still there. Yes. Whether it's open.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Oh yeah,
I went on it.
there.
I went on it.
Oh, I forgot you were only there last year.
You know what? It's very similar to the. It's those animatronic rides, really.
It's like a story ride.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's basically a runaway car.
Right.
And it's 2D doors. Mm-hmm. And you kind of drive towards a policeman who shouts.
Okay.
The door opens, but it's him jumping out the way, and you turn, and then there's like some dynamite, and there's all different characters and things, and you basically are just in this car twirling and moving around. It's quite fast and it's good.
Oh!
It is one of the better of those kind of rides. I wouldn't say it's my favourite ride, but
Out of the story rides?
out of the story
Is it better
rides, it's not better than Peter Pan.
Oh!
But I think it's there.
Okay.
It's in that
Right.
area because it is 2D flat.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can see why people liked it.
Okay.
Because another connection between this film and Winnie the Pooh is obviously what replaced Mr. Toad's Wild Ride in Florida.
Oh, was it the Winnie the Pooh ride?
The Winnie the Pooh ride, which I don't care what people say, it's shite.
Oh, really? I've not been on it. Do you think
It's-
Jacob would like it?
Oh,
No?
I don't know.
Oh.
It's cardboard.
Oh.
It's like pages, you know the Disney ornaments that they do where it's a book?
Yes.
It's that.
Okay.
But there are some bits where like they're moving because they're in the wind, but
Right. It's obviously for babies.
oh yeah, I mean the fact that you walk out and it's meet and greet Winnie the Pooh and friends.
Yeah, I would say babies, yeah.
But yes,
Not
been
all
on
the
that
rides
ride.
are made for the adults.
No, but I must admit that Mr. Toad's
It's-
Wild Ride would have still worked with young children,
Okay.
but if anyone gets to go on it,
Okay.
go on it.
Right.
It is something you have to do.
Okay.
I actually witnessed, sorry, going off
No.
topic a little
Yeah.
bit.
No.
So me and Luke in California were in the queue for Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, and there was two very, very young gay guys behind us. I say gay guys because it's part of the story.
Okay.
And they're in a relationship together,
Uh-huh.
and they must be. If they were 18, I'd be very surprised.
Okay.
And basically, they broke up in the ride
In the ride.
behind us.
Oh my
yeah.
God, no.
And the woman kept shouting to go, how many people? And that, like, she was quite close. And I was like, shh. Well, one of them left the queue, and the other one went on the ride on his own.
Oh my God.
Yeah, fair enough. It's a good ride.
Oh my God. A breakup.
I know
in
at
the queue.
Disney.
At Disney.
At Disneyland, the original Disneyland,
To-
there was a breakup in the queue to Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, and he still went on the ride.
Wow.
We couldn't find them for the rest of the
Oh, I
day.
wonder if they got back together.
I don't know. I think one had maybe done something he shouldn't.
Oh, okay.
I know.
Naughty.
They were talking about drinking and stuff like that. It was all very, very dynasty. And very surreal as we stood in the California sun in November celebrating Christmas, witnessing a breakup.
Oh my. Aw.
So yeah.
Um.
Do you,
So the next park connection. I don't know how to move on from that really. Oh. Yeah. So the
if
next
I
park.
found him, I could have asked him how he moved on.
Yeah. The next park connection is random. I think this is so random. So Disneyland Paris,
Mhm.
right? Has a Toad Hall restaurant.
Yep.
Now, it's situated at the back. So for
Yeah.
those who don't know, Disneyland Paris, like majority of the other parks, Main Street and everything is, leading up to the castle. And then behind the castle in Disneyland Paris is where Fantasyland is. And at the very back of Fantasyland, in between meeting Mickey and Peter Pan, is the Toad Hall restaurant. Now, I've not been in yet.
I have.
Okay. Because every time we have been there, it's closed.
Yes.
We don't know why. And the one time it was open was during the summer, and it was just too hot for fish and chips.
So we went for Pride. We had a few things of Coke, and we went in, and it's British memorabilia in there. So there's some paintings that have got Toad on, but the majority of it is British memorabilia, which includes the sign of the Jolly Fisherman for Skeggy.
No way.
Now, for those outside of the UK, think Vegas but on a budget and with less stuff.
Like
That's
Coney Island.
Skeggy. Yeah.
Like Coney
you know
Island
what?
from New York, yeah.
Very similar for those who've been to the boardwalk in Florida. Very similar to that, but not as clean.
Yeah.
Or as nice.
Yeah.
But is a day out.
Yeah.
And has been a staple
Seaside
of
day.
seaside holiday, especially for us in Leicester.
Yeah.
But yes, the Jolly Fisherman on a poster on the wall, and I believe they have some Gaston things as well, which I found odd.
Yeah, because that has...
Because he's French.
Yeah, nothing to do with Mr. Toad.
So it might have been just more of the hunting thing, or the fact that they don't have a Gaston's pub.
But they could be.
They should be.
That could be Gaston's pub. It shouldn't be Mr. Toad's restaurant.
Yeah.
Oh. But yeah, and the fish and chips, really? I don't get that. It should be like a... Because of like... I would say like a roast dinner.
Yeah.
Maybe. Like a home cooked... Like a stew.
It should be a buffet.
But not fish and chips.
Buffet kind of thing.
I don't get why fish and chips. But apparently the fish and chips is lovely.
I
don't know.
If
it's open in March,
which it won't be,
when we go,
which I can tell you now,
then we said we would definitely try it because it did look
go
good.
in. It's the aircon is great on a warm day,
right?
And you can get yourself a Coke.
We've done the toilets. I like the toilets. The toilets are at the back of the restaurant, and I did take photos. Whether they're still on my phone, I don't know, but the female toilets have Mr. Toad in drag, and the male toilets have Mr. Toad in, like, you know, a proper outfit. You know, it's like a male, and then you've got female version of him. But which is quite cute because it then goes with the restaurant, unlike other things where the theming is a bit obscure. But yeah, so
Mr. Toad randomly, and I did know the backstory about this, but I cannot remember it for the life of me. And do you know what? I wrote it as part of my essays that I was doing. But there is a tombstone at one of the haunted manors or phantom manors or whatever, and it's Mr. Toad.
Oh, that is random.
Yeah. I believe that there was something, I wish I could remember it all, but I think it's in Florida. I think it was moved from the ride over to
Is it because the ride died and was taken over by Winnie the Pooh?
Could not tell
And they
you.
thought, let's mark it with a grave.
Could not tell you.
If anyone knows...
Well, do you know what? Just read my essay. It's written on there. I just can't remember what it was.
But yeah.
They're the park facts that I had as well with Mr. Toad. Do you have any more with Mr. Toad?
One last one, and then we'll go on to the what we thought of Mr. Toad.
Yeah.
He never actually drives the car. He wants a car.
Yeah.
He steals a car.
Yeah.
Supposedly.
Yeah.
He goes to jail over the car, but we never see him drive the car.
Well, that's just a miscarriage of justice.
I know. I mean, but we do see him fly the plane at the end. That we do see him, but we don't see him drive the car. I know.
That image of Mr. Toad in his car, though, and it's the wild white. I'll say that again with my teeth in. The wild ride. It's that version of the car. I really like that.
The
image.
red.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it is a red car that's in the film.
Yeah.
But we never see him ride it. There's a photograph of him being arrested in the car. But yeah.
Because every time I see something with that, it's like I need to get that. I've got the Disney ornament. I've got the pin, and
and yet we don't.
Florida,
we don't see him drive it.
Florida, they had popcorn bucket, and that was what I was going to get, but I opted for a Christmas one.
Okay. And quickly as well, while we're on about the car, this will definitely be the last one.
Sorry.
The car situation is not 100% accurate to the timing of when the when the story was first, when it's set, because only 60,000 had been made worldwide. So the chances of motor cars being used popularly at that time, because it's set in 1909 going into 1910.
Okay, so
because
literally
New Year's
a
Day
year or two
is the
after.
1st of 1910. And the book came out in 1908. And the manufacturing of cars only began in 1908, but only 60,000 were made worldwide.
God.
So that's not. Maybe 10
it's
years
a talking
later.
Toad.
I know. 10 years later, it would have been a bit more
acceptable.
Yes.
Factually correct.
Yes. But the likelihood is the horse and carriage would have been. Yeah.
Okay. That's fine.
Not
That's...
a motor car.
Okay, well, if anyone, no wonder Disney thought it was corny.
Yeah.
Didn't like it.
Yeah, I can
it's
see.
factually incorrect.
Yeah, it is, yeah. Right, so what do we think of Mr. Toad? Like, when you were watching the film, what were your thoughts?
Do you know what? This isn't my favourite segment of the film.
Okay.
The
That's
animation.
the package.
Yeah. The animation's not amazing. There are points where you can tell that it's cheaper animation. The story is a very cut down version of what I know of the story to be. One, because I've read it. Two, because I don't know what it's like in America, but in the UK we've seen, like you said, the David Jason series, the David Jason film, the Rick Mayall film. There was a film done
live action one.
Live action. It's been done so many times that this just falls short. It's not the full story. It's not everything there. So I don't actually rate this section brilliantly.
I mean, for me, there was bits that I liked. I didn't mind the animation. I actually preferred it in this one than the next one. I know, very different. There was little bits that I liked, like when he first sees the car and he's, doing the sounds of the car, and he gets that motor mania, as Rat says. I thought that was really fun, and the way that it was drawn, with the eyes going and the smoke and and bouncing about almost like he's flying, because he's so excited about what he's just saw. I thought that was really good. I liked the animation of that. And I saw the cornflake snow. Yay! Yes! I wrote it down. I was like, cornflake snow! Ben actually walked in as I was watching it, and he actually pointed out, and he checked for me, when he's being chased by the police, the amount of guns that are going off. And I said to Ben, it's set in 1909. Did police have guns?
Oh, you're looking way too much into this, Jane.
So Ben googled it, and he did say that no, like they did have, and they were taken away in 1937. So they would have had them, but they wouldn't have used them like that. No. So that's a major extreme.
It's almost like the gangster films that came in the 20s, and the car to me looks like a Laura and Hardy T-model.
I think it's drawn American, even though it's set in Britain. Overall, I don't like the character.
No, he's an
Like,
arsehole.
he's not a nice character, and I don't want him to win.
No.
And I don't understand how he has friends.
Yeah, well, he's got money. That's what it is.
And I don't find that any of the productions of the story, be it Disney's or the ones that we saw as a kid, have made the story any better.
No, it's the story is it's a bit like The Animals of Farthing Wood. It's a story. It's been written. It's there.
Yeah.
That is it. If you're not faithful to that, the
No.
story doesn't work.
No.
If you're faithful to it,
Mhm.
you've got the same story over and over again.
Yeah.
And I think that's
Mhm.
and that's why it fell down for me, because out of all the versions of this story that I've seen, read or watched, whatever, this is the worst.
Yeah, and it doesn't have a clear baddie and a goodie, because ultimately the main character is sort of
He's the baddie anyway.
Yeah.
He's like
he's a,
yes.
the-
You're allowed to swear. He's just a bit of a dick.
Yeah, he is. He's a dick.
Yeah. It's the only way to
and he
say it.
deserves his comeuppance. I'm
Yeah.
not saying he deserves to go to jail, but he deserves to get, he
Yeah.
needs to come down from his high horse.
Yeah.
And yeah, so for me, I'm not sure why I watched it as a kid. Maybe I don't know why I liked it. It could have been the
Might
other
be the
characters.
animation.
Yeah, it probably was.
And it's probably David Jason's voice.
Yeah, when I watched that one. Yeah.
Because he just, and it's like because The Wind in the Willows is made by the same company that did the BFG,
Yes.
that did Danger Mouse,
Yes.
that did Count Duckula, Cosgrove Hall,
Yeah.
and they kind of, for a little while, were the producer of great kids programs in the UK. So
UK, yeah.
we probably just linked up with that. I think it was on Thames as well, so it would have been repeated quite a bit.
Yeah.
So, anything else on?
I'm just
Mr.
quickly
Toad.
reading my notes, but no, I'm on to Ichabod. Yeah, no, let's move on. Let's go to Ichabod. So, are we doing facts first?
Yeah, might as well follow the thing. I don't have a lot of facts for this one.
Oh, I have quite a lot.
The reason why I don't is because I think it's a personal thing where I wanted to learn more about The Wind in the Willows, because I felt I knew
Didn't
enough
know that as much
about Ichabod. So I wanted to just focus on that. Whether or not I'm going to remember any, let's find out.
Okay. So will I start?
Yeah, you go,
Yeah?
and I'll just chip in when I've got something to say.
Okay, so straight away, the characters are fictional.
Yep.
But the setting, so the place names and the landmarks depicted are mostly factual.
Yes.
And Tarrytown in Westchester County, New York, was founded by Dutch settlers in the 17th century. Some of the other landmarks are located in nearby North Tarrytown, which was long nicknamed Sleepy Hollow, and was officially renamed to this in 1996. Washington Irving, the author himself, was buried there.
Oh wow! Well,
Yeah.
I found the story. So although it does have American origins, as you just said, it's a real place and everything. A lot of it is actually based on European stories for when Washington Irving lived in the UK.
In the UK, yeah. Is it Sussex he lived?
I think so, yeah, that rings a
I
bell.
think it was Sussex,
Yeah, so he took a load of those and then linked it up with this story. There's actually a society for Washington Irving and a society for Sleepy Hollow. And
Is there?
yeah, I can't remember if they like this film or not.
Okay.
I
Let
don't
us
think
know!
they do.
If anyone knows, email us or comment. We'd love to know what they think of this.
The story, one of the things that, when we were talking about the Mr. Toad section, that was put on hold in 1946 multiple times throughout that year. But Sleepy Hollow was started production in December 1946, whereas in August 1946 Mr. Toad was just being put back up But
Okay.
Walt had said it needs to be 25 minutes.
Right, okay.
So within those 3-4 months, both sections were in production
At the same time.
at the same time,
Okay.
but not within the same film.
Ooh,
They were mixed around a little bit.
okay.
This one was going to be with Happy Valley as well.
Oh. God, they were going to team up quite different ones with Happy Valley. I
Yeah.
think they made the right choice.
And then overall, there was going to be 3, Mr. Toad, Ichabod and Happy Valley.
Oh.
And it was going to be called 3 Fabulous Characters. They then took parts out
Right, okay.
and then put... Basically, it was like a shuffle in a deck
Yeah,
of cards.
yeah.
And then it became 2 Fabulous Characters, Mr.
Yeah.
Toad and Mickey and the
Mhm.
Beanstalk at this point. And then Mickey and the Beanstalk was taken out.
And with Bongo.
And with Bongo and Sleepy Hollow was put
Yeah.
in. So it
Although I would
really
not
was
call Mr. Toad or Ichabod fabulous.
No, they're not. They don't match the word fabulous.
No.
No. Just, they're arseholes.
Yeah.
I keep saying that. But they are.
Yeah. I've got one about the Headless Horseman.
Yeah.
Okay, so he was inspired by General William Heath's memoirs from the Battle of White Plains, which was in 1779. He wrote that he witnessed a Hessian horseman being decapitated by a cannonball during battle. The body is supposedly buried in an unmarked grave in Tarrytown. And a Hessian was a German soldier, a type of soldier from Germany, who they apparently shipped a troop over for the Civil War, the revolution that was happening. Yeah. And yeah. So. Yeah, I mean.
it's.
I don't know how you get
kilometres of it.
Headless Horseman,
No.
like, because we know him that he has his head
Yes.
and that he's carrying the head.
Yeah. I think it's based. What we've got to remember about a lot of stories that even that have sweet things in it, like Cinderella, Snow White, and all of those, they're based with horror elements. So just having someone who got his head
Blown off.
that instantly
cannon.
just thinks, right,
Yeah.
a headless horseman.
Yeah.
So this is probably a bit more on the nose.
But it's
than
like, how did Irving
others.
even come across that?
It was well studied.
Clearly.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
at the time we've got to think, especially in the UK. I mean, the schools. It only became legal that all children had to go to school shortly. Well, it'd be around the time that it was written and these legends started coming ahead, Victorian times. Which I don't believe was the case in America either. I don't think there was a legality for children to go to school. So reading and writing, we think now like not being able to read or write is a rarity. It still happens, but it's a rarity. Whereas at that time, being able to read was the rarity. Especially if you was more common if you was a man.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you were a woman who read,
Oh,
you
danger.
might as well have been drowned as a witch.
Oh, danger.
Danger.
So the song Headless Horseman is considered one of the darkest songs written for a Disney film, and it was nearly cut.
Oh.
I listened and I didn't think it was that dark. But
Yeah, no, I think because we're
at
looking.
the time, I know
Yeah.
it's hard because obviously we're watching it like 80 years
I
later.
suppose at the time you didn't really have those B movies of the 50s, but you had some of the universal horrors, Dracula, Frankenstein and things, so they were the horror genre. So yeah, I suppose if you compare it to what is shown there.
I mean, I watched this with mainly Finlay. Jacob was in and out of the room. And he did pay more attention to Mr. Toad than this, but he certainly wasn't afraid. And yet, apparently, Disney still gets complaints about this film in
If you're
particular.
going to complain about a cartoon that depicts a guy with a pumpkin for a head and think that your kid is going to have nightmares from it, then do you know what? Let the kid have nightmares. They'll be a better person for it. They really will. Like, no. Funny you should mention the song. Do you know who sings it?
Yes!
Yeah.
Bing!
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 Bing! Bing bong!
Yeah. Bing Crosby. Well, he does it all.
Yes, he does the whole thing. The beginning of Sleepy Hollow was meant to have Bing Crosby telling the story to his family.
Oh.
And they sat there and it was pitched and they were paid to do it.
Uh-huh.
And then it was dropped.
Oh, okay.
And they still got paid for it.
Okay.
Which during this time when Disney was in debt doesn't seem like a wise thing to do, but yes, they got paid a considerable sum for the time.
I wonder if they used it, maybe if it was shown on TV.
No, it was never filmed.
It was never filmed.
It got to the point, and then they decided to do the library section as the link, and
you can't even read the spines on those books.
Yeah, no, it's so it was dropped.
Oh.
Obviously, we know that he was most famous as a singer in his own right with White Christmas.
Yes, Holiday Inn.
Holiday Inn.
Yeah.
I mentioned in a previous podcast that he, the version of White Christmas that we know, is actually a re-recording. That original White Christmas basically rotted away.
Oh.
So the original version you can't hear anymore.
The original one he recorded.
Yes, but he re-recorded it, and that's the one that we listen to today every Christmas without fail.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. Yeah, they're definitely the most famous things. That if people don't know who he is, Bing Crosby, White Christmas.
Oh, if you don't know who Bing Crosby is, then just turn off now.
You've been living under a rock.
Turn off.
Yeah.
Just go away.
Apparently the horse that Ichabod has is called Gunpowder.
Okay.
Yeah, the horse of Ichabod Crane is named Gunpowder. But yeah, he's never referred to as that.
No.
To save money, Katrina was modelled closely after Grace Martin from the Martin and Coy's short that was in Make My Music.
Oh, okay.
And resembles what's the name? I can't even read my writing. Sufoot Sue from Pecos Bill.
The woman.
The woman that
goes off to the moon.
Yeah, that goes off to the moon. Yeah. I'm not surprised because obviously they were made round about the same.
Yeah, they
era.
needed to save cash.
Yeah. Disney animator Andreas Deja used Brom Bones as inspiration for Gaston.
Yes.
And weirdly enough, when Ben walked in at this part as well, he straight away said, "Oh, he looks just like Gaston." And I was like, funny you should say that. I've just written this fact down.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, you can totally see that's Gaston. And it was the scene where he leaps over the table on his horse and he opens the barrel and pours the beer and they cheers with the beers and yeah.
No one.
Yeah.
Copies like us.
So, yeah. I mean, the fact that Ben even noticed that similarity and very highly resembles.
Yes. It's
It's almost as if he's just taken the character and given him a ponytail. Not taking away from Andreas at all because he's one of my favourite animators. But there was some
a lawsuit.
Yeah, there were some parts where it was like, oh my god, if he had a ponytail, it would be Gaston. Obviously, Gaston is better drawn and more handsome than Bron Bones.
Yeah.
But the physique,
It's
the personality,
yeah.
very similar. Very similar.
The only fact that I can think of right now, while we're just talking about behind the scenes and things, is I mentioned about Jack Kinney being the director. And he directed Goofy Shorts, but there was a co-director called Clyde. I'm not going to be able to say that, but Jeremini. I do apologise, I've got that wrong. This was his first feature film directing job.
Okay.
But he went on to direct Cinderella and 101 Dalmatians.
Completely different.
Yeah. In style,
yeah,
tone,
yeah,
types of story.
And goes on to do very well in regards to those two, because
Yeah.
they're much better.
Yeah.
Many fans have questioned who the baddie really is in this.
Ichabod.
I'm sorry, I don't like any of them.
No.
Like the dance scene in particular, for me, Bron Bones, is awful.
The girl is the hero.
Yeah.
The girl has to be seen as the hero, and Ichabod is just sly. He's only after her for money.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think if you don't really listen to the songs, you wouldn't necessarily know that.
No.
For me, it looks as though he's been starving for so long, and he does everything he can to eat. Not necessarily get money, but he clearly, even at that party, he fills his plate up.
Yeah. It's because he's a scrounger.
But
he is a
unless
scrounger.
you listen to the lyrics of Bing singing, you wouldn't necessarily.
Which is the story.
Yeah. So you can't watch it without listening.
No.
To the songs. You have to pay attention.
I think Mr. Bones is the least just mean of the two. He's very basic, don't get me wrong, and he's not exactly the nicest of people.
No.
But out of the two, he's almost like at least you know what you're going to get from him. Whereas there's a few layers to Ichabod, because he's obviously quite well educated, or else he wouldn't be a school teacher.
Yeah.
He's obviously not good looking.
Oh God, no!
But all these women want to do things for him because he's seen as eligible, but he's a con man.
Yeah.
And it's sly, and it's that thing, and he deserves what he gets, I'm afraid.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like they all do.
Yeah.
They all.
But I didn't get Katrina. I have she this. Yeah, I can't. I can't put it into words. I get annoyed at her more.
Why?
Because she falls for Ichabod, and then she goes and marries Bron, and he's neither of them are nice.
But then, which one would you rather have out of the two?
Neither.
No, but you have to. You're a woman set in this town. You are getting married to a man because your life is worthless, remember?
I don't know, because it would be, what would you prefer? Someone who's educated that would, have something you would have interesting conversations with, or
but then would you have interest?
Someone
are
who's
you
going
well read at that
to
point?
ride you like a pony? Basically. I mean, Bron just wants the prettiest girl on his arm.
Yeah.
And he wants a happy wife, happy life sort of thing.
Yeah.
Ichabod,
I think he's just doing it. Well, he's just doing
it we know
for
he's
the
doing
comfort,
it for
the cash. Personally, I'd be off with
Bron.
Of
course you would.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those arms. Was it the arms? Was it when he lifted up that bag?
Oh yes. No, if there's an animated character getting my hot flush on, it's not.
It's not Bron.
It's not Bron. Got a few years to wait for that yet.
in regards to him telling the story as well about the Headless Horseman, I mean, talk about random, and how it all of a sudden appears in his head.
I think this is the unfortunate nature of
doing a short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because obviously the story and the planning and
Yeah.
everything's made for a feature.
Mm-hmm.
And when that's condensed, you miss bits
Yeah.
out. We spoke about it on Fun and Fancy Free with Mickey, Where'd You Get Them Beans?
Yes.
So this is just a continuation
Yeah.
from that. And I think that's the whole thing with the song as well, because obviously you wouldn't have a song for an hour and a half.
No.
So I think there'd be more characterisation. And
Yeah.
maybe you would like the characters more, whereas in the state that we have it,
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to like them.
No. I've also got, in the original story,
Mm-hmm.
there are several legends of the supernatural, including
Oh.
a German doctor who first bewitched Sleepy Hollow, and a Native American chief who served as both a prophet and wizard to his tribe.
Mm.
So, yeah, the story clearly, I mean, that's not even in
No,
the
it's not there.
live action film that we know.
Never
So-
seen it.
Oh, have you?
No, never seen it. No.
It's good!
No.
With Johnny Depp.
Yeah, I just don't know whether I
Oh,
like
Christopher
it or not.
Walken is the Headless Horseman. It's really good. You'd like it.
Okay, I'll give it a watch.
Because
Maybe.
it's got a story.
I will say at this point though, I'm not one for watching films. I've
I
watched
know.
more films this year than
What,
I.
2024?
2024. Don't mind at the
It's
time of
15 days.
yes, so we're recording this on the 15th of January. And yeah, I've watched more films than I would normally do.
Mm.
Like, definitely outside the cinema in a year.
Wow.
So
Well, I
fitting
think-
another one in, and
I
the,
think Sleepy Hollow might be on Disney Plus.
but all the ones I've watched this year have been shite.
Oh, this one honestly, it would be good. It's Tim Burton.
Okay, I'll give
Yeah,
it.
Tim Burton
if-
made it, and it's good.
I will.
It definitely does justice, I think, to
Oh,
the
okay.
characters that we know.
So is this like the Wind in the Willow situation with me, where there's better versions of this story?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the live action with Johnny Depp is a much better version. Because
You
it's
on
a
commission?
thriller. It's a
She's on
thriller.
commission.
It's a completely different.
Where will I find it? Will I
I
find
think
it?
it might be on Disney Plus.
Oh, okay, I'll have a look.
If not, it's definitely on a streaming service.
I'll have a look.
I'm sure
I
I've seen
haven't
it.
seen, but then I haven't been looking for it.
No,
so.
well, I would definitely watch that. Yeah, the whole thing with how some people think that it's bronze that's the Headless Horseman. No.
I don't.
Because the horses are similar.
Yeah,
I don't want to give him that much credit.
No, I'm not 100% sure on that myself. I think maybe in the original story it might be, or the original aim would have been, but just the way it comes out in the film, it just doesn't play.
No. And the Headless Horseman is one of the few villains to win. But when I was thinking about it, I can't think of another villain that wins. So unless there's one in another short that wins. But I can't think of another villain that wins.
No.
If anyone can, let us know.
Yeah. You watch, we'll get like.
Yeah, they'll be like, oh, so. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah. But I can't think.
What about the Queen of Hearts?
Does she win though?
Does she lose?
Oh.
Oh.
I always forget about her.
Yeah, she's always the villain that.
And yet she's like
Yeah.
always in the parks.
Yeah.
And yet I always forget about her.
I've seen her more in the parks than I have the film.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
But that's for another week.
Yes, that is. that's all the interesting facts about Ichabod.
So the Headless Horseman, we mentioned about what Mr. Toad and Wind in the Willows is at the parks, but the Headless Horseman features in so many different type of Halloween parties.
Yeah. I've seen the videos of them in the parade.
Yeah, and when we went to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, a few minutes before the Halloween parade, the Headless Horseman runs through the parade route. And it's really good because there's no fanfare or anything. It is a headless guy on a horse.
I think the park is made out to be a more interesting villain than the film does.
Well, what you got to remember is that this, for the majority of Disney's life, apart from the villains for the Disney films, really there's nothing Halloweeny until Hocus Pocus.
Yeah, I know.
Not really, not in the true sense of Halloween. Yeah. Like you could say, oh, there's Treasure Island with pirates. No, not you know, Nightmare Before Christmas. It's not Hocus Pocus.
It's not.
So this will be the only thing that they would have had for years on end.
Halloween is not mentioned.
No.
Clearly, Thanksgiving is happening.
Yes. Which is just after.
You know, there is pumpkins in the background.
First released in October 1955 on Disneyland, the TV show. So it was released in time for Halloween. Every time it was repeated, it had a short segment on Washington Irving.
Okay.
That has never been released on home media. 1955 was also the year that The Wind in the Willows was shown on Disneyland as well, as we've said, paired up with The Reluctant Dragon.
Yeah.
I believe it's been repeated and is on so many. It's one of those traditions. Mm-hmm. We have the Snowman.
Yeah.
It's something in America they watch, so it's probably just more links to their
because of the
background, because it was shown so often on television, and it's Disney, and it's not scary. I don't care
it's
how
not.
many ring in to me. I'll give you my number and I'll tell you. I don't really have any other facts apart from its first home media release together was in the UK. And was one of the last Disney classics to be released on Blu-ray.
Oh, okay.
But then most of the package films are. So
yeah, I don't have any other interesting facts about that. So what did we think of Ichabod?
I like it. I like it as a short. Would I sit there and watch a full-length film done in this style? No. Would I sit and watch this whole film multiple times? Probably not. Would I watch this section multiple times? Yeah.
Okay.
So I just like it. I think it's neat. I think it's just I don't think it can be more than what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think we should pretend it's more than what it is. But I think out of the war packages, those longer shorts, it's my favourite, and I still think that this, Wind in the Willows and Mickey and the Beanstalk are the best.
Okay.
So, yes.
Oh.
That's my 2 pence.
Well,
Go on, do your Mary Poppins impression and give your 2pence.
No, I did not like this one. This is the second time that I have watched this package film from start to finish. Mm-hmm. The first time was Halloween last year.
Oh, okay, and so it's a new edition for you.
Yeah. My sister did put it on once for the boys in the background, but I wasn't paying attention, but I knew it was there, and they didn't pay much attention to it either. No, this was a couple of years ago.
I don't think it would hold
But last October, we made sure that we watched everything that was Halloween. I mean, we watched some crap. Like the Disney Channel stuff. You know, we gave a few things a go.
You're not going to tell me you thought Descendants was crap?
No.
Okay, that's good, because Descendants is not crap.
No, Descendants is good. But like Halloween Town?
No, I'm not seen. Oh, is that the one with the zombies? Or is that... No, that's zombies.
No, that's Zombieland. That's zombies, yeah. No, Halloween Town is with Debbie Reynolds.
Oh,
the idea is good. And the story is good. But the production is... Well, it's Disney Channel. So you can imagine.
Is this like Mum's on a date with a vampire?
Yes!
Everything about that film should be good.
But it wasn't. Anyway, so we were on a roll. It was like, we're getting through these, you know, at least we can say we tried it, and we put this on. And yeah, like me and Ben, we looked at each other and we were like, oh my God. I said, I thought this was supposed to be good. Like, people talk about this as if it's one of the best Halloween-ish things, you know. And
don't get me wrong, out of the scary Halloween-ish...
It's, you know, we all know Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah.
We've heard of Sleepy Hollow. But...
I think I know exactly why I like it.
Because everyone else doesn't.
It's Scooby-Doo.
Is it?
Yeah, it's that kind of... It hints at... This could be scary, but it's Scooby-Doo.
Okay, yeah.
And it's a headless horseman with poor animation and...
Okay. Yeah, a bit like that, yeah.
Got that kind of link to it. I think
if it wasn't for Bing...
Yeah.
I wouldn't really have anything positive to say about this one. He was the best thing for me. I love that he did the voices, very much like Sterling Holloway doing the Peter and the Wolf short. It just went, and I don't know why, but it just did. And the songs were so good, like they were fun.
That might be why people enjoy it.
It must be.
Because if it's only shown as like a 25-minute piece, and it's got some good songs in it, it's got Bing Crosby, and it's something Disney that's specific to Halloween. Yeah. Like, it's not linked, it's just...
And everyone loves Bing.
Yeah.
It's that voice, that really deep voice. And,
do we need to lay some newspapers?
No! But, no, if it wasn't for Bing, I would have really struggled to watch this. So, yeah. So our scores!
Well, just before we have some scores,
okay.
I've got a few bits where we just look at... So, when we've done things before, we've done hidden Mickeys and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
With this, I didn't pick up on Mickey's Christmas Carol, but the characters do all appear in Once Upon a Studio.
Okay.
So the Headless Horseman appears, Mole, Ratty and McBadger. They all appear. Mr. Toad is on the magic carpet from Aladdin.
Yes.
Watching the short so close to watching that short.
You can see why.
I can see why, it makes sense. And Ichabod. And he almost loses his head
because off with the ladder.
Goofy turns with the ladder.
Yeah.
So I thought that was quite smart.
Yeah, that was clever. But the director of Mickey's Christmas Carol, I know he didn't do this, but obviously using the characters from Mr. Toad in Mickey's Christmas Carol, he was part of that film.
I think so, yeah.
Before he died.
I don't really know much about the Once Upon a Studio. But
no.
So just a bit of an after thing. You probably prefer to watch their little segments in that short than you would to watch the whole of this.
So what was your score?
Bear in mind I like Ichabod and Mr. Toad, but if we're allowed to give 0.5s 2.5.
Oh, okay.
If we're not, I'm going to put it to the 3 mark.
Wow, Stephen, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thinking of Snow White,
Mm-hmm.
thinking of Pinocchio and kind of compare it to them.
You gave Pinocchio a 2.
Yeah. I prefer this.
Okay.
Compared to the other war package films, this and Fun and Fancy Free are the only ones that I would consider watching again after this.
Okay.
There's only been like 3 reasons why I've ever watched those other package films. 1 is when I first wanted to watch every Disney classic film. 2 was when I wanted Luke to watch every Disney classic film. And 3 was to do this podcast. So I probably won't watch those other ones again, whereas this one, yeah, I would. What about you?
Well, I give it a 1.
A 1?
Yeah, a 1, because
What did you give Make My Music?
A 1.
So you think this
and Make My Music are the worst.
Really?
Yeah. I can watch the others, and I can I'll choose to watch Three Caballeros and Fun and Fancy Free. Yeah. Shari.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's because I didn't like any of the characters.
No, I suppose. I mean, I think if they were separate, we might view it differently.
I wouldn't choose to put. Thinking about it, I wouldn't choose. Like we talked about Melody Time, and you know,
I suppose
the Make My Music. Like they were the ones with the most segments.
Yeah.
And you know, yes, there was a couple on there that if they were just a short on their own, on Disney Plus,
little
we
toot.
would,
flying the little toot flag.
So whereas no. Like, if Ichabod was on its own as a short for Halloween, I would not put it on.
Oh.
Like, I would not say to the boys, oh, let's put Ichabod on. You know, it's Halloween. No.
No, I guess not.
Yeah.
And I didn't watch it this Halloween, but then I don't.
Yeah. So, yeah,
Halloween's
it got a
not my
1
season.
1 for me.
Oh.
Yeah. And I don't think it helps that I also really enjoyed the live action of Ichabod.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you see where I've not seen that, so maybe.
And because
my opinion
that had much stronger story. Now, whether that's more to the book, I don't know. I've not read the book.
No, I haven't.
Or whether they took what they could see from the book, like Disney, and thought, we can do this and make this a really good film, and they did it better.
Yeah. But then it's a full length film.
But if you were to watch the short as it is, I couldn't imagine it being a full length film.
No.
So it's weird. So it's maybe that has having an effect on my enjoying it as well.
I've not seen that, and
so.
So who do you agree with?
Yeah, I know.
Do you think that Jamie's right? It's one of the worst things that have ever come out of Disney Studios.
Yeah.
Do you think I'm right? It's half.
Can you see the good parts? Is there?
Yeah.
You know?
Do you watch it? Are you one of those in America who've watched it at Halloween?
Yeah.
Multiple years. Do you remember it being on Disneyland, on the Wonderful World of Colour, all those bits? Let us know. You can find us on Threads.
Yes.
At the Jamie and Stephen Show.
And on Instagram.
And on Instagram, which is the same.
Yeah.
Are they called tags?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I'm in my 30s. I don't know what they are.
Yeah. Drop us an email.
Yeah.
Jamie and Stephen Show at outlook.com.
And also at the end of all of our podcasts, we have a little poll.
Yes.
Which you'll be able
or
to
we'll
just
have a
click
question.
on. So, a poll.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. As in, no, like where you can comment.
Yeah.
So sometimes there'll be a poll, And sometimes there'll be a question where it's an open answer.
Let us know. Don't forget, you can comment on our YouTube. You can...
our YouTube isn't as updated.
Handles, that's what they're called, not tags.
Not tags, handles.
We'll just do this again.
The YouTube channel's the same. It's the Jamie and Stephen Show. It's not as up to date as the podcasts like on Spotify and Apple.
But this is where you'll hear it first. Yeah,
you'll hear it first on wherever you get your podcast. But we are slowly getting them uploaded on YouTube as well, so that those of you who don't have a Spotify or Apple Music account can also access it via YouTube. Sorry about the ads, but that's not
fine.
our fault. We don't put the ads in the YouTube.
No.
But if you want to watch or listen for free, YouTube.
Yeah. And on that note,
it's the end of the wartime
package film.
Yes.
So next week is Cinderella.
Yeah.
Initial thoughts about doing that one?
I can't wait.
Yeah, I must admit, these have been draining, these little shorts.
I am so excited for Cinderella.
I cannot wait to get back into that routine of reviewing a film.
Yes.
As a film.
Yeah.
Not as loads of shorts.
Yeah.
So, we shall see you in a week's time.
Yeah, hope you enjoyed this week's episode.
And we'll speak soon.
Bye!
Bye!